So you're thinking about moving to East Tennessee. Well, a lot of the time, that choice boils down to two main spots, Maryville and Knoxville. They're super close on a map, but honestly, they offer completely different ways of life. In this explainer, we're going to break it all down to help you figure out where you belong.
And this really is the big question you've got to ask yourself, right? Are you craving that city buzz, that energy? Or is the quiet calm of the mountains calling your name? Your answer to that one question is going to point you in the right direction, and we're about to explore what each choice really means. Okay, so let's paint the picture here. On one hand, you've got Knoxville. It's the big one, the economic and cultural heart of the region where everything is happening. And then you've got Maryville. Think charming, think community, think gateway to the Great Smoky Mountains. So what does it actually feel like to live in a city hub versus a mountain town? Because, even though they're practically neighbors, the day-to-day experience is like night and day.
Yeah, Knoxville is the hub, no question. It's got the big companies, the University of Tennessee, the major hospitals, all the entertainment. But then you drive just a little bit south into Blount County and you're in Maryville. It has this totally different, much more residential, tight-knit community vibe. You can just feel the local pride from the second you get there.
Next up, let's talk about the big one. The one everyone thinks about first. Money. What's it going to cost to buy a home? For a lot of folks, this right here is the make or break question. And look, the bottom line is pretty straightforward. Your dollar is probably going to stretch a lot further in Maryville. I mean, both places are pretty affordable compared to a lot of the country, but when you get down to it, there's a really noticeable difference in what you can actually buy. And it's not just about the upfront cost of the house either. You really see it here. Maryville's median home price tends to be lower, sure, but the savings keep coming. Check out the property taxes. Blount County is usually lower than Knox County, and that can add up to some serious cash savings every single year. Now, in Knoxville, it is all about location, location, location. The prices can swing wildly from one neighborhood to the next. You're definitely going to see those premium price tags in the super popular spots, right? Think downtown where you can walk everywhere, those classic close-in neighborhoods, and then the big suburbs like West Knoxville and Farragut. They've got great schools and amenities, and the prices absolutely reflect that.
All right, so beyond the house itself, how does this all play out in your actual day-to-day life? I'm talking about your commute, your daily routine. This is where the rubber really meets the road.
The traffic situation might be the biggest shocker. It's a night and day difference. Knoxville has that classic city traffic, bumper to bumper on I-40 during rush hour. But Maryville, it's just calmer. Your drive is way more predictable and way less stressful. But of course, a ton of people live in Maryville and work in Knoxville. And that commute, it's totally doable. We're talking what, 25 to 45 minutes usually? For so many people who make that drive, it's a trade-off they're happy to make for the lifestyle they get back home. Okay, so we've covered money and traffic, but let's be real. A home is about so much more than that, right? It's about the feeling you get, the community, the lifestyle. And this is where the personalities of these two places really start to shine through.
And if you have kids or are planning to, this is a huge deal. The Maryville City school system gets talked about a lot, and for good reason. They consistently rank as some of the best in the entire state. That reputation alone is a massive draw for families, and it really helps keep home values strong.
The whole community vibe is another place where they're just different animals. Maryville has that classic small city feel where people feel really connected, there's a ton of local pride. Knoxville, being bigger, is more like a collection of unique villages. Each neighborhood has its own distinct character, its own vibe.
But if you're an outdoorsy person, well, this might just be the deciding factor. Marysville's biggest ace in the hole is its location. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park is literally right there. It's your backyard. You can be hiking or biking or just taking a scenic drive in minutes. It's a lifestyle that's completely woven into the fabric of the town.
Okay, so we've thrown a lot at you. How do you take all of this and actually make a decision? Well, it really just comes down to what you care about most. So let's boil it all down, one last time. Let's make this super clear so you can see where you might fit.
Here's the takeaway. You're probably a Maryville person if you're all about amazing schools, having the mountains at your doorstep, getting more for your money, and living life at a bit of a slower pace. But you're likely a Knoxville person if you want that urban energy, the nightlife, tons of housing options, and a shorter commute if you work in the city.
So in the end, it's not about which one of these places is better. It's about which place is better for you. What does that perfect East Tennessee life look like in your head?
Is it waking up to mountain views and quiet mornings? Or is it being in the middle of all the action, with city lights and endless things to do? Once you answer that, you'll know exactly where to find your home.